seems to be the problem, Braden?
Dad, my car won't start.
Well, son, I gotta get it in the garage.
But it won't turn on.
Well, you want something to move, boy, you gotta push it. I like science. Hey future scientists, it's Mr. Like again. I want to talk today about making things move. What causes things to move? I know in your game you tried to make the ball move and stop. Whenever we want to make something move, we have to either push it or pull it. Scientists call a push or a pull a force. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about force. What is a force and how does a force work? We're out here on a beautiful day today. I thought I'd show you a couple of tricks. In the game of baseball, we need to make the baseball move. In order to do that, we need to push it or put a force on it. Here's me about ready to throw the ball. Let's be scientists for a minute. If we were going to look at how the ball actually moves, what do I have to do? That's right. I have to push it. And scientists call that push a... That's right, they call it a force. So I'm putting a force on the ball. A lot of times in a model, we look at forces and want to see how they make things move. In a model, a lot of times we'll draw an arrow to show how the force is making it move. Let's put an arrow on my model. I'll tell you, athletes need to know a lot about force. I think I'll try 10 more. Can I get a spot? Alright, the first trick I want to show you involves three things. It involves a card, a quarter, and a glass. And what I want to do is I want to put the card right directly on the glass like this, and I'm going to put the quarter directly on the card. Now, what do you think is going to happen if I pull on the card? Let's find out. The quarter went with the card. Well, that's because I pulled on the card. Remember, a pull is called a force. And the card pulled on the quarter. I put a force, or a pull, on the card. And the card put a force, or a pull, on the quarter. So they all moved. Forces make things move. But what if the card moved really, really fast? So fast that it didn't have time to grab the quarter. What do you think is going to happen then? Let's find out. Wow. In that case, the quarter stayed right where it was, and the card moved out from underneath it. It didn't grab the quarter, and the quarter just fell straight down. That's kind of cool. It's a fun trick, and it's really fun when we can explain tricks using science. Another trick that we can do involves some pennies. I'm going to put a whole stack of pennies here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pennies. And those pennies are objects. And those objects right now are just sitting there. They're not doing anything. They're just hanging out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this card and I'm going to try and hit the bottom penny. And if I can hit the bottom penny, it's going to slide right out of there. Let's see what happens. Did you see that? I hit the bottom penny and it flew right out of there. I put a force on the bottom penny. I pushed the bottom penny. The other pennies didn't get pushed by the card at all. So they stayed right where they were and they fell right down to the table. In order to make something move, you have to have a push or a pull. And we call that push or pull a force.
So now that we know what a force is, let's see if we can apply this to our game. Remember, a force is something we put on an object that makes it change how it moves. We can speed things up, we can slow things down or stop them, or even make them change direction. So, I'm going to take my model of wind ball and see if we can't figure out where the force is in wind ball. Now, if we remember, I was pushing the ball with my breath. I was blowing on the ball in order to make it move around the table. So when I push on the ball, that's a force. So on my model, I'm going to draw a big arrow right here that shows the force, and I'll label it force. That's where I would put force in wind ball on my model. Can you put a force on your model that shows where you made the ball change how it was moving? Then, take your model and show your teacher. You can send her a picture or even take it into class if you can. I'd love to see your picture if you want to send it to me. I will say that figuring out how games work really makes me like science.